Good morning. What a fantastic day to be alive. The sun's trying to break through the clouds. Keep going, son. I want to share a little story with you today about one of the people that I work with who they also come to my class and they train pretty hard there. They're quite consistent and hard worker and persistent. About 18 months ago they came to me and just said, basically, I've got a 0 hours contract job, which means no security and no kind of guarantee of income or number of hours working. I can be let go, I can be fired at any moment. It's making me feel pretty shit, making me feel like I can't really provide for my family and that I'm damaging my self-worth. And those weren't really the words that they used, but that was the sentiment that I received. And about 3 weeks ago, they came back to me and said, I got some really good news. I've been offered a full-time job. And so they've been in that job now for about 2 weeks. They say they absolutely love it. It's office hours, which means that they're free at sociable times, which is excellent. They've got a minimum guaranteed number of hours a week. After they've been there for 2 years, they get all the normal kind of workers' rights of, pension, sick pay, holiday, that kind of thing. And they're over the moon. Now that might not seem like a huge deal to some people, but to this person it was a really massive fucking deal. Now it took about 18 months from starting kind of working together on a personal level to getting to being offered their job. We worked on a lot of things, from the practicalities of tweaking their CV, rewriting it, how to change it for each individual job they're applying for, interview techniques, preparation for interview, how to come across as knowledgeable and enthusiastic about that specific job, how to speak with and engage with the other person and build rapport over a short period of time. But the biggest thing came from working on mindset with this kind of thing and dealing with all of the various pains that are going to come from applying for a better job than the one you have, especially if you don't know exactly what job you want. It often ends up being a bit of a numbers game, because it's quite unlikely that your perfect job will come along at the perfect time and you'll apply for it and you'll be the perfect candidate and you'll get on really, really well with the interviewer and be offered the job on the spot, and there's no one who has 1 day more experience or is, one level higher qualified than you for whatever. Exactly. It's a numbers game. And so what that ultimately means is, and because you stop applying for jobs when you get offered the one you're going to take, it means all of the jobs up to the one that you win are losses. They're rejections. You get a no thank you, or you get silence, or you get, you were really, really good, but there was one person who was very slightly better. I don't know which is worse, really. They're all kind of crap. But you got to go through all of those to get to the one job that you get offered and you want to take, and you take. So that's a lot of pain to kind of wade through. And we compared it a lot to martial arts, obviously, where there's loads of times that you kind of fail and get it wrong in class. There's loads of times in sparring or whatever that you get tagged, or nobody really loses, but it can feel like a loss. And yet this person was able to kind of push through those, persevere, and see the end goal. And he said, I really clearly see where I'm going and see that I'm improving overall, despite the numerous pains and losses. I can still see that I'm winning eventually. Cool. So let's work out how you're going to win eventually from, losing at all these job interviews. And essentially it came down to comparing the pain and pleasure right now and the pain and pleasure in the future. of either doing the thing, applying for all the jobs, or not doing the thing, because doing nothing is also a choice. And to sit still, do nothing, stay in your piece of shit job with 0 hours and no guarantees right now is quite pleasurable because you're used to it. It's comfortable, it's what you're doing already, you know what it's like, and you're kind of accepted where you are, and there's no new pains, there's no new rejection, you're just trudging on doing what you were doing all the time. And yeah, applying for new jobs and getting rejected over and over and over again is quite painful. It hurts the ego, people saying, no, I don't like you, you specifically are not the person I want. Thanks very much for trying, but you failed. Now fuck off and do one. Yeah, that hurts, of course it does. Then let's look at the future pain and pleasure. So is there more pain or pleasure in staying in your shitty 0 hours job with no prospects and rock bottom self-worth? Well, of course there's a lot of pain, because if you can't provide for your family, it's the worst case, is that they'll leave you. That's pretty painful, I think. And also, if you completely damage your self-worth beyond any repair, then there's no hope of ever doing anything better in the future, or at least that might be the way that you think. Of course, I believe differently. Then that's a pretty painful future. I'd say that magnitude of pain is far greater than a couple of job offer rejections. And you got to look at the pleasure of doing the job interviews in the future, which is, well, I could start a career that has a progression ladder, and I can feel like I'm worthy and that I'm succeeding at doing something for 40 hours a week. I can provide for my family, and I won't feel like a failure in their eyes anymore. And I'll have more sociable hours that I can be free. I'll have more money to do things in those sociable hours. Oh, it's brilliant. Pleasure is seemingly endless. So I was looking at those 8 aspects through a lens of playing the long game, through a lens of, I want to learn how to get to my black belt. I want to learn how to be able to fight really effectively. I want to learn this particular skill in martial arts. Well, actually, I want to learn this particular skill in my life, in my career, in my family life, in my worth to humanity. And so, over the last 18 months we've been working on those aspects, and I've used pretty much every single tool and trick that I can think of. I've been really kind and encouraging and empathetic. I've been practically helpful. I've encouraged them to see the hard truths. In some cases I've been incredibly annoying and persistent, and asked them over and over again, how's it going? What's the next thing you're going to apply for? Show me that job. Keep your volume up. What are you doing now? And this person's been really receptive to that, so I thank you for that, if you're watching this. And there's more than one person I've done this with, so if you think it's you, it might not be you, don't worry. So I just wanted to share this story with you. It's not to impress you, but to impress upon you how the parallels between doing something difficult in a controlled environment like a martial arts gym can really help you develop those courage muscles, those persistency and consistency muscles that you probably will need to apply elsewhere. So anyway, I've definitely rambled way too much today. Hopefully you got to the end. Okay, leave a comment below and let me know what things you've struggled with